Yes, there's a huge amount of repertory for the single action that very few people know it, and it very rarely gets played. There's several things at work there. One is that earlier in the 20th century, there were a lot of articles and books published saying that there was no worthwhile harp repertory before Ravel and Debussy. And there were also opinions on 18th century harp music that were published, but they were only based on a very small sample of study pieces. The people making these opinions really didn't know the repertory. So that's how the history of the harp kind of got derailed.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, for a harpist not to know the music of Meyer and Krumpholz is like a pianist not knowing Mozart and Haydn.
I want
Yes,
to
there are
ask
some pieces
you,
by
yeah,
Spohr that you can really only get through them on a single action because you can use the technique. You use your toe to fold up pedals you don't need, and then you can get the pedals on either side of that one with the one foot. And also, there are places where Spohr needs you to go from a flat to a natural and from a natural to a sharp at the same time. And you can only do that on a single action because that's how the instrument is set up.
right?
Yeah.
And
So I
yeah,
remember that one of the Spohr pieces was the only thing my second harp teacher, Nan Gullo, ever gave up on because she couldn't get through the pedaling. But it turns out you need a single action.
We have
Sarah?
somebody here called Mike Parker who specializes in single action um, harp and technique, and he does master classes and things. So I guess we maybe know a bit more, and he's done some things at the music colleges in London, master classes and workshops. So he's one of the chaps I think here. There's also Mike Baldwin, but I don't know
mhm.
quite whether he's in the UK or he's overseas. I'm not sure, but specialising in harp and the history, 18th century, prior, that kind of thing, which is quite helpful.
Again, there's a couple of things that work there. You have a Wurlitzer DDX
Yes,
in the
yeah.
background. Yes, I have one too. Um, I restrung mine with lever harp strings to get less tension
Same.
on it, and it got a lot louder. I mean,
Yes.
after I did that, I could steamroll a double brass section in orchestra with no problem. It was great. So yeah, it's the lower tension will actually produce more volume rather than less because
Hmm.
it's not holding the soundboard as still as the high tension strings. And also, with the disruption in harp building around World War II, the skill of how to make a soundboard got lost.